So I get frustrated. Maybe frustrated is a strong word, but having something happen that I could have done something about, ideally. So I'm like, I'm not gonna say it's annoying because it's not quite annoying, but it's like the little brother of like annoying is a 16-year-old, and what it is I'm feeling is the little brother of it, like 7 years old, let's say, where something happens. I can't like it's not bad, but I would have preferred a different outcome, and I'm wondering if I could have done things differently. And in that process of thinking about if I could have done things differently, I think about how much things was going on, like how much controllable, how much necessary things was going on, how pressed for time I was during the preceding period coming up to the actual event of X going wrong because I didn't do Y and somebody else didn't do Y, and both of those things combined, and boom, big crash. And I'm thinking about, okay, ideally I could have did X or Y. So it's almost like doing a crime scene investigation after the fact to figure out the message, to figure out what would have been a great way of going about it. And I'll do that really quickly. Well, not really quickly, but I'll do that when I have time. Like, say I'm on the train, I'm listening to music. I'm usually listening to podcasts, but if I am listening to music, because sometimes I get like a little burnt out on the podcast after like 6, 8 hours, and consecutive hours, and switch it up, change to some music, and then I'm, you having some thoughts coming back to you. It's almost like dreaming. Like dreaming is when your brain is processing thoughts that you've had throughout the day. And, I'm processing some thoughts that's coming back. It's like, okay, this happened, could have did a little differently. But it's not regret. It's, okay, this could have happened. I could handle this particular way. Like, what would have been the optimal way to handle it? Think about it, come up with my response to what that would have been, and then I have that situation saved. I don't have to worry about it anymore. So the next time something else happens that's kind of like it, like say it's here, and it's like 2 degrees of separation away from the actual incident, I can refer to that thought through response that I came up with previously. So I don't have to go like, clutching at straws for what to do. And it's not the exact same situation. It's usually never the exact same situation, but it's close enough to the point where you can use that previous situation as a reference. And it usually does a thing where I like to call it triangulating, where what happens is that you have a reference point here, you have a reference point here, and you have a reference point here. Like 1, 2, like a triangle. Here, here, and here. Just use it. Yeah, got it. So I know what would be a good response for this situation. I know what would be a good response for this situation. I know a good response for that situation. So something happens around here, and it's closer to this one. I can say, all right, I'm gonna kind of combine these two a little bit, but I'm gonna use most of this one and come up with a response that's good enough for having to, put my feelers out in the dark. And then how I respond to that new situation here, I could think about, like, if everything works out well, I could be good. And if it doesn't, I could think about it again. So I have another reference point. So instead of having 3 reference points, I have 4 reference points. And if something else that happens, it happens kind of close to that new reference point that was made. That whole yes, no, did it work out, did it not work out happens all over again. And then it's, so eventually the point is you have a ton of reference points to what you could do in a ton of situations. Doesn't work for everybody, but that's what works for me for the most part. there's always time to think. Like thinking, reflecting on things is pretty good for me, in my opinion. And I recommend it because it works for me.